Now on CoastTV News.
Apologizing for fireworks? Why the city of Rehoboth Beach is saying sorry to some. Ocean City takeover.
It's very disruptive. It's not good for the community.
Police looking for someone who assaulted an officer. Sand Hill Road slowdown. Why Milton is asking DelDOT to lower the speed limit.
We've been tracking some storms that prompted concern for flooding throughout portions of the state. Now we have more showers on the way. I'll talk about the timing of it coming up.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Teen takeover chaos across the nation and here on Delmarva. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Ferguson. We begin with those teen takeovers across the country, leading to several arrests. Cities saw a rash of violence over the holiday weekend, fueled by dangerous teen takeovers. NBC's George Solis shows us the chaotic scenes.
A violent brawl breaking out in South Carolina. A North Charleston police officer tackled to the ground and pummeled repeatedly during a 4th of July gathering of teens and young adults that descended into chaos. The video does not show how the fight started. This officer seen here firing his taser. Police say the 400-person crowd grew out of control. 4 minors and 2 adults were arrested. Authorities releasing these photos of guns and a makeshift spear recovered from the scene. The takeovers also ramping up in Raleigh, where videos show overrun streets and sidewalks as authorities say more than 5,000 teens began fighting early Sunday morning.
Both units are transporting the 2 victims.
Police say 9 people were shot and more than 24 young adults now face charges ranging from fighting to assaulting an officer. Chaos also unfolding in South Florida, where authorities say a Miami-Dade sheriff's deputy's hand was burned by a firework that launched in his direction.
Authorities say with these videos now circulating on social media, more arrests are now likely.
Here's a look at one of those gatherings along Coastal Highway in Ocean City over the weekend. Now, some people there called it a takeover on social media, and it's unclear if anything illegal actually took place at that big group there. And police are also searching for a man who they say assaulted an officer on Independence Day. Police say shared these images that just show the back of the suspect. All of this rattling some folks in OC.
It's very disruptive. It's not good for the community or the family focus which this town forever has had. It's really not wanted. I understand that there's kids want to have a good time, but the mob mentality is very disruptive.
These takeover events are not just limited to Ocean City, with one happening in Rehoboth a few months ago. And here's more details on that Rehoboth Beach one. It happened on May 19th, and the takeover resulted in several underage drinking and public smoking arrests and provided a major police response to that. Charges against 4 promoters were later dropped by the state's Attorney General's office. Now the Police Accountability Committee plans to revisit the response after an independent review is completed in September. Apologizing for fireworks? That's what the city of Rehoboth Beach did today on Facebook, saying heavy smoke from last night's show made it hard to see the finale. The city says they are working with the company who put on the fireworks to figure out what all went wrong last night. And take a look at this video. Heavy flash flooding in Milford today, leaving some streets flooded and some closures also in Milford. And now let's take a live look outside into Milford and bring in First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams. Good evening, Paul. Some rain and some flooding tonight in some areas.
Well, it was really spotty, basically, but we're looking at this kind of isolated pocket here and there, which is really brought on by the presence of a low-pressure system directly over us and pretty much a warm front as well. But overall, we're seeing additional moisture hovering in the atmosphere. The rain has subsided for us at this point. Now, we are going to stay in the low to mid-70s throughout the rest of the night. Here's a gander at where we are right now with temperatures. We're at 74 in Lewis, 75 in Long Neck and Millsboro, as well as Georgetown, and 1 degree warmer than that for Delmar and in Gumboro. But we're in the non-severe zone right now. Just kind of update you on what's happening with the potential of storms and all that kind of stuff. We're not concerned about it anymore. In fact, what rain we've had has broken up pretty quickly. And it manifested quickly, then it fell apart. And it was really more so connected to the amount of heat energy we had in place. diurnal type short shower. So when the sun disappears, the potential of these showers popping up, it goes right along with it. And we had some concerns for flash flooding. Those have been allowed to expire. In fact, they expired ahead of time from the initial issuances. Now, we are going to see a possibility of a sprinkle or two along Highway 50 between Salisbury going towards Ocean Pines, as along 13 south of Seaford, but that's looking minimal at best. We're looking at temperatures staying in the 80s for the next 3 days in a row for us in Cambridge, with cloudy skies and a hit and miss spot shower likely in the afternoon for the next 3 days in a row. Coming up, we're going to talk about what's expected over the long term and if we're going to see a big pattern that will change our drought situation. Brandon?
Thank you, Paul. The town of Milton is requesting DelDOT lower the speed limit on parts of Sand Hill Road. The portion Milton wants to change from 50 to 35 miles an hour is from Gravel Hill to Harbison Road. That's about a 1.5 mile stretch. With more houses and families moving in right off of Sand Hill Road, that's exactly why one man from Milton is all for slowing drivers down.
The other thing is, I would hope that they enforce it, because a lot of times you always say, where are the police when you need them? But I would think that Milton would enforce that with this. I think it's a smart move.
DelDOT now has the final say on whether to move forward with that speed limit change. We have an update to a story we brought you first last night. Delaware State Police confirmed a murder-suicide happened on Sunday in Milford. This was on Sugar Maple Drive, and that's a development south of the hospital off of Route 1. It happened around 4:15 last night. Troopers say a man called and reported killing his wife before hanging up. Troopers say they tried to reach the man again but couldn't. Police then went inside of his home and found a 38-year-old woman with gunshot wounds and a 43-year-old man with a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Their identities have not been released. In Worcester County, police say a man has been arrested after he barricaded himself inside his home after an alleged assault. That happened in that area right there on your screen. Police say the man is 49-year-old Robert Keith Anderson. He has been charged with first and second-degree assault, false imprisonment, among others. Police say a woman told them last night Anderson had threatened her with a gun inside the home before she escaped. Now nationally, President Trump leaves for Turkey tonight for a high-stakes NATO summit, but in his wake, he's leaving controversy and facing global outrage over his call to FIFA and a request to review a red card given to an American soccer star ahead of tonight's World Cup matchup that U.S. eventually lost.
President Trump ringing the opening bell of the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ from inside the Oval Office, as his Trump accounts, new investment accounts for children, officially go live today. It comes ahead of his trip to the NATO summit in Turkey, where the war in Ukraine will be a key topic. The president spoke to leaders of both nations in recent days and said they both want to end the fighting.
I think we're going to get it. I think we're going to get it ended. It's been a terrible situation.
The president often criticizes the alliance, angry that more NATO nations haven't supported the war in Iran, and frustrated others aren't spending as much as the U.S. NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte said that's changing.
We discussed the staggering increase in defense spending by Europeans and Canadians. President Trump has been extremely forceful, encouraging us to do this.
But Trump is facing global outrage as he heads overseas, confirming he called FIFA President Gianni Infantino and asked him to review the red card given to U.S. soccer star Flo Balogun in Tuesday's game against Bosnia.
I didn't think it was a foul. I thought it was two great athletes that crashed into each other and got entangled. That was not a guy punching somebody in the face or anything that, would be different. So, yes, I asked for a review.
The red card meant Balogun would not be able to play in tonight's World Cup match against Belgium. But on Sunday, FIFA reversed the decision, allowing Balogun to play. The call and the reversal has other countries crying foul.
Well, maybe we'll bring it up at NATO tomorrow over there with the Belgians and everybody else, but I just hope the match will go on, everyone will be at full strength, and the winner will be the winner.
The president says he had nothing to do with the final decision, leaving the outcome to FIFA. Today, FIFA rejected Belgium's appeal of the reversal. Gary Grumbach, NBC News, Washington.
We are just getting started tonight on CoastTV News at 11. Businesses call this Lewis intersection dangerous, and they say they want an immediate fix. DelDOT says a solution is still months away. Finishing touches to the Freeman Arts Pavilion, what's new and when shows will start. But first, Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams, he's in the Coast TV First Alert Weather Center. He is the latest on fast developing storms earlier this evening in your full forecast after this.
So it looks like we're going to be enjoying, I say that tongue-in-cheek, we're going to be enjoying a pattern of spot showers popping in and out throughout the afternoon hours for the next 2 to 5 days in a row. In Lewis right now, we have an abundance of moisture. You kind of see it hovering in the atmosphere right there with that hazy look that's outside. We're going to stay in the mid-70s for the rest of the night with increasing cloud cover. Now, cloud cover is not going to be limited this time around. We're not going to have crazy UV index and all that kind of stuff. We're going to take a break from that crazy summer type weather. How about that? All right. So we had nearly 1.5 inches of rain on Wallops Island. Over a third, Salisbury, close to 1/4 of an inch officially at the official Georgetown site. See, we have a low pressure that's in control of our weather for right now, and it's right on top of us, so it adds to the instability that we have in play for us. And the amount of rain that's already fallen, that's probably our biggest story for tonight. I mean, for example, some of our estimates from our radar, we had like nearly 3 inches for us near Macaulay Road, which is northeast of Beaver Dam Road. Then we also have just to the southeast of Thompsonville, nearly 2.5 estimates from our rainfall. Now, another location we had was nearly 2 inches near McNett Corners and around the Hopkins Corners area. Another area that we had some more impressive rain, possibly from an estimation standpoint, is really right along, well, I believe that's, wait a minute, my glasses will work. Here we go, 313. Hey, don't laugh. You can't do this without your glasses, and you know, you even have, yeah, let me stop. Anyway, Anderson, south of Andersontown along 313 is the highway that I was trying to look and try to focus on. But overall, we're quieting down, which is kind of nice, actually. And we'll have the last remnants of the sprinkles pushing across for the rest of the night. And we do still have active concerns for a little bit of flooding over on the other side of the Chesapeake Bay. But for us, we're staying pretty quiet. A little bit on the cloudy side, a couple of random sprinkles, maybe in the early morning hours. Other than that, that's pretty much it. We're warm to 87 for the high today. That was 1 below the normal high for this time of the year, and we're about 4 to 7 degrees cooler over the entire peninsula as a whole. Here's where the temperatures are right now. We're at 77 degrees in Laurel, Seaford, as well as Salisbury, and 75 right now in Ocean Pines. Now, just to get a feel as to what's happening with the possibility of rain this week, yeah, we need to water the garden on Wednesday, not so much on Thursday, not so much on Saturday, and maybe on Friday. So we have that potential of rain most of the week. Winds are pushing out to the south for Tuesday. We have a cloudy sky staying persistent Tuesday afternoon. Temperatures approaching 79 and then mid-80s for Georgetown. And then as we go into, let's say, Thursday, we're staying pretty close to that. Now, we have a 60% chance of rain for Thursday and Saturday. So here we go, Wednesday into Thursday. We have the low pressure system off the coast with winds coming out of the south for Thursday evening. Friday, a good slice of rain. Friday going into Saturday, it breaks up a little bit more so on Saturday. We'll wait and see. Finally, here's a look at your 7-day forecast. We will have a much warmer day on Friday with a better chance of a thunderstorm getting a little ugly on Friday because we'll have just a skosh more thermodynamic energy.
Thank you, Paul. Thousands are still without their power in Maryland today after the holiday weekend storms. You take a look at this section of Arundel County. The storm packed heavy rain and strong winds, knocking down, you see, several trees and power lines there. And utility poles fell into the road, even across the rail tracks. Baltimore Gas and Electric is working to restore power to more than 20,000 customers, but full power may not be restored until Wednesday. This is tragic news out of Kentucky. A 4-year-old child in Kentucky is dead after an accident over the holiday weekend with fireworks. The Pulaski County Coroner's Office confirms Rhett Luttrell died Saturday night. Investigators say a tube of fireworks fell over as it was going off before hitting him. That investigation is ongoing. And back here at Delmarva, if you take a look at this area on your screen, it's where businesses say 2 accidents happened over the weekend. It's the intersection of Marsh Road and West Coates Road in the 5 Points area of Lewis. As Coast TV News reporter Emma Aiken shows us, businesses near the intersection say they want to make an immediate fix right now.
Like many Sussex County roads, it's an area that DelDOT says is just no longer meant for this kind of traffic.
Somebody's gonna lose their life.
The intersection of Marsh Road and West Coates Road in the 5 Points area of Lewis. Right now, it's just a 2-way stop. Watch as this car pulls out into the middle of the road, trying to quickly cross Marsh Road through a break in the line of cars and oncoming traffic. In the short time CoastTV was filming the intersection, we saw similar scenes over and over again. And over the weekend, McGee Farms owner Ellen McGee says the intersection was responsible for 2 crashes within 1 hour.
That road is just crazy busy all the time.
McGee says something needs to be done now.
DelDOT says they are doing something. They're doing a big something. They're putting a roundabout here at this intersection, and it's expected to start being built in February.
But McGee says that's not an adequate answer.
They have got to put up either stop signs or flashing lights. There's something they could do in the interim before they got the roundabout in.
DelDOT says the roundabout will make what they call antiquated roads much safer. For drivers here, every gap in traffic can feel like a gamble. In Lewis, Emma Aiken, Coast TV News.
And some things to know, right next to that intersection, you've probably seen construction near Old Orchard Road. DelDOT says it's realigning the road to cross Savannah Road at its intersection with West Coates Road to make things safer, making a new 4-way stop. And the agency says the intersection of West Coates Road and Clay Road will also be improved. That's just up from Marsh, where people dart across the road a lot. DelDOT says this should all wrap up in the fall of 2028. And all of this brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know what you think should be a top priority for 5 Points Roads. Let's take a look at the updated results from our 6 p.m. news hour. Majority 57% saying safer roads, 18% faster construction, 21% for more roundabouts, and 4% for more stoplights. We actually do have a comment tonight from Steve. He says stop developing, more housing, more cars. If you haven't voted yet, or you want to leave a comment just like Steve, you can do all of that right now on coasttv.com or download our phone or our app on your phone, and you can use that on Coast TV's mobile app as well. And DelDOT says minus Conaway Road between Route 1 and Route 9 will be closed from July 13th through September 14th for construction of the roundabout. And this is part of a much larger improvements to the entire area to make things flow better. Drivers in Seaford can expect traffic the next few days in this area on your screen. That's due to some stormwater work on Toll Drive. The road will be closed tomorrow and Wednesday from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and it will be open overnight. Coming up, rape allegations against a U.S. Senate candidate, what the accuser says happened. And the finishing touches to the Freeman Arts Pavilion, what new and what shows will finally start there.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
You may remember just a year and a half ago, the Freeman Arts Pavilion began its construction project. Now, the facility is getting ready to open its gates with new upgrades to the stage facility. As Coast TV News reporter Drew Bellinger gives us a look at the new facility and what people are looking forward to the most.
Finishing touches to the Freeman Arts Pavilion are underway as the $43 million facility gets ready to debut its new look ahead of the 2026 season, a process that president of the Freeman Foundation, Michelle Freeman, says has been years in the making.
Every year it's evolved a little bit, it's changed, it's grown.
Freeman says flexibility and newer production equipment will create a more immersive experience for the people soon to fill these seats.
We can still allow people to dance on these little lily pads that we built. So it's 19 years of experience with our audience and partnership with our audience and things that they told us and comments that they made that we've listened to and responded to in the building of this permanent stage.
This area where a new canteen will go is where the old stage used to be. Now with this new construction, the facility will be transformed into a 4,000-seat venue, including lawn, box, and standard chair seating.
We're able to play with a couple of areas in the venue about whether, people will bring their own chairs or they'll be fixed chairs.
Organizers say parking will be available in the lots and by shuttle at Johnson's Farm, just a mile down Route 20. Since opening about 20 years ago, the visitor tally has been growing. According to Freeman, the overall number of people who have seen shows on these grounds crossed 1.2 million. David Doan says he'll add to the total this year and can't wait for what will soon take this grand stage.
They've had acts come in here that they've brought in the kids and the community to see something you never see anywhere else. So I think it's wonderful.
What was once a vision is now center stage, waiting for its opening act. Reporting in Selbyville, Drew Bellinger, Coast TV News.
Developing news, a woman is accusing Maine Democratic Senate candidate Graham Plattner of raping her during a dating relationship in 2021. The accuser says Plattner came to her home after she told him not to and forced her to have sex despite repeatedly being told to stop. She says she did not report the alleged assault to police and has no political motive for coming forward. Plattner called the allegations categorically false, but said he is considering the best path forward. The Democratic Senate Campaign Committee says it will not invest in the race unless Plattner withdraws. The deadline to leave the general election ballot is on July 13th. Coming up in sports, the Salisbury School boys soccer team needs some reinforcements. DSN meets one player who's ready to step up. Microsoft layoffs, why thousands of employees were let go by the tech giant. It's a question many parents ask themselves. How much screen time is too much? Balancing the right amount of time is tricky, especially when technology is a part of everyday's life. In today's Consumer Watch, Jen Sullivan talks to the director of a technology camp who shares tips with students and parents about reshaping how we think about technology.
At Camp URJ, 6 Point Sci-Tech Academy in Massachusetts, campers are busy learning coding, 3D printing, robotics, and how to incorporate technology into music and art.
There's no part of life currently that is not impacted by the digital tools that we're using.
Jamie Dale Maladine has been teaching technology and education for more than 15 years. She also has a master's degree in video gaming.
So it's really more about how can we be our best selves through the tools that we know and love. So it's really about playing around with technology and different science concepts and figuring out how we can use that to make the world a better place.
Statistics show teens are spending more time in front of screens as technology becomes more integrated in their lives, and that can negatively impact their mental and physical health. The nonprofit Common Sense Media surveyed a group of teens from 2015 to 2021 between age 13 to 18 and found they averaged 8 hours and 39 minutes of screen time per day.
Young people are engaging with technology at a younger and younger age. And so being able to think critically, not just about what they're using, but how it's made.
Maladine says parents should be engaging with their children about the technology they're using. If they're into video gaming, she suggests asking them questions about the game, how it's made, who they're talking to online.
I think there's also an increasing need for people to be able to learn things without being assessed through any other lens than are you having a good time.
Maladine says the skills they learn at her camp can translate to multiple fields. She says former campers have gone on to land jobs in the film industry, medical field, and aerospace engineering. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
Microsoft is cutting nearly 5,000 jobs, with majority of those in its Xbox division. The layoffs amount to just about 2% of the company's global workforce. A Microsoft leader says the roles aren't being replaced by AI, but the cuts are in response to how that technology has impacted the business's practices. Some employees were let go immediately, while other positions will be eliminated over the course of the 2027 fiscal year. In July of 2025, Microsoft laid off about 9,000 employees.
The Salisbury School boys soccer team had a historic 2025. The Dragons went 13-0 and won their first ever ECAC title. But 9 seniors graduated. That means it's next man up time for the Salisbury School, and rising freshman Baker Custis is ready to answer the call.
I think here actually taught me a lot of my speed work. I think ever since I've started coming here, I've gotten faster on the field, and I think with my height, being able to like body people and have more strength on the field as well.
That improvement didn't come easy. It came from a few years of hard work.
It was summer. It was my summer of 6th grade, and it was me and my 2 brothers, and we had no clue what we were doing, and we just came in here expecting we didn't know what we were expecting, and we came in here, and it was hard, but it was definitely worth it in the end.
Baker hasn't backed down from a challenge yet, and he actually goes above and beyond outside the walls of the Athlete Academy.
He does sprints at home. He's doing what he needs to do. He does the little things that I send him to do at home as well. He's in here, we just keep pushing the tempo with him. And I think that's what's kind of separating him from his old self and the other athletes on the shore as well, because he's actually putting in that work.
It hasn't taken long for Baker to fall in love with this place, and he recommends it to anyone.
If you're worried about like embarrassing yourself or anything like that, like they're not, no one's like, it's like everyone's a family in here. Like you're not left out or anything. Like everyone helps you and everyone's like cheering you on. Like it's nothing to be worried about, and it's super fun. Like I like it a lot. So.
Reporting from Fruitland, I'm Tyler Aiken, DSN.
Now let's take a live look outside into Ocean View. Looking pretty foggy there, and after the break, we'll have your rain-ridden forecast coming up.
Right now, we're at 76 degrees in Milford, and we're going to stay in the low to mid 70s for the rest of the night with increasing cloud cover, a little random sprinkle here or there, but most of the rain has sashayed on out of the way for the most part and breaking up rather quickly. Our umbrella giveaway winner is Michael Toshi of Selbyville. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis, property restoration experts. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line, sponsored by the law offices of Bruxted, Mandalis, and Federico. And here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We will see you tomorrow morning for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Everyone have a great night.